Shalom everyone, do you have 2 minutes for Torah? So here's 2 minutes of Torah coming up on Pesach, and that means that this Shabbat is Shabbat Gadol, where the rabbi traditionally speaks about the intricate laws pertaining to Passover. I'm going to be speaking a little bit about the subject of chametz, but maybe in a way that you aren't expecting. Of course, to find out about the rules of Pesach and the practical things, please, I have put a link to the Pesach guide from the Masorti Conservative Movement in this newsletter. And if you don't get this newsletter, then just go online, Google Pesach Guide 5783. It includes everything from how to kosher your kitchen to what to look for in the store, what you can and can't have without a hechsher. What am I going to speak about then on this Shabbat Gadol before Passover? I'm going to continue a conversation I began last week about chametz. Because chametz, leaven, is not only a subject for Passover, it's also the subject of last week's Parsha of Vayikra, this week's Parsha of Tzav. It comes up again that the sacrifices, particularly the mincha sacrifice, which got replaced later as a prayer service, the mincha sacrifice was a grain sacrifice, and that sacrifice could have no leaven, meaning something like matzah. Now, one of the questions that I asked, because this week's Parsha says that it is Kodesh, that it has to be holy, I asked the question, is non-leavened bread holier than leavened bread? And if so, why? What does it symbolize? And we came around to this idea that it symbolizes the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination. But that wasn't enough. What does that mean? In Brachot, in the Talmud 17a2, we read about Rav Chanuna, who would recite a special prayer, would say, Master of the universe, it is revealed and known before you that our will is to perform your will, and what prevents us? He says the first thing is chametz. It's the yeast in the dough, the thing that makes it rise. So we went through a lot of, last week, a lot of texts about this, and one of the main points I came to was, what is the Yetzer Hara? What is this evil inclination? What is this privilege or this arrogance that we come to? Because we come from matzah, right? We need to remember where we came from. We were slaves in Egypt. We forget that. When we get too big, we get ahead of ourselves, we get too famous, we get too much money,